couple of days before I posted the YouTube video, No Man is an Island, Lil Hannah and the 14th Foot, on January the 11th, 2019, Mendocino County Sheriff Lieutenant Shannon Barney said that the remains of a detached foot found on the county coastline had been identified as those of Hannah Louise Holliday Hart, who also went by the name of Schoolyarich. I had not been informed of that, but a little Hannah finally has a name. Hannah Louise Holliday Schoolyarich. I can now call her name. My heart, soul, and prayers go out to little Hannah Louise Holliday Schoolyarich, her family, ancestors, and the loved ones. But I have questions of the pursuit of justice to those official law enforcement representatives of the government that are mandated by their stations to conduct themselves in appearance and deployment in such a manner to inspire confidence and respect for the positions of public trust that they hold. In October 2018, a woman who identified herself as the mother of Marcus, Abigail, and Hannah contacted the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office and allegedly indicated that she had heard of the incident via a family member. That dog don't hunt. With the assistance of detectives of Mobile, Alabama Police Department, a DNA sample was obtained from this person and forwarded to the California Department of Justice, the DOJ lab, for comparison testing with the mysterious 14th human detached foot found on the U.S. West Coast and British Columbia. What happened to the FBI's multi-million-dollar state-of-art forensics in this case? The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office received the word from the DOJ lab in early January 2019 that the additional DNA test results from Lil Hannah's biological mother showed a positive identification of the skeletal remains found in the shoe on May 9, 2018 as belonging to Lil Hannah Schoolyarich. It plainly says that the DNA of Lil Hannah's biological siblings, Marcus and Abigail, found at the bottom of the sea cliff that the sheriff coroner autopsied, are not trustworthy. Apparently they are different from the DNA samples of Lil Hannah and their biological mother. And if that is the fact, we have to conclude that the bodies law enforcement officials found at the bottom of the sea cliff in Mendocino County in March 2018 were not in fact Marcus and Abigail, when they claimed that it was in fact Marcus and Abigail. And the child's detached foot found in a pair of jeans and tennis shoe could in fact be part of Abigail's remains, not Hannah. In California, tissue and blood specimens are retained by the county coroner for 1 year, but in most cases, blood DNA cards are retained indefinitely. It doesn't make any sense at all that Hannah's DNA sample should not match the DNA of her biological siblings. For the public trust, the FBI, Mendocino County, and the California Highway Patrol should immediately publicly release a picture of the child's jeans and shoe said to have been recovered by a Minnesota friend of Jennifer and Sarah Hart. The shoe that they claim now to have belonged to Lil Hannah can be identified by the manufacturer, where the shoe was produced and sold. Additionally, an eyewitness may be able to identify the shoe as belonging to Lil Hannah, Abigail, or somebody else entirely. And we must beg to ask the FBI, Mendocino County, and the CHP, where are the child's other remains, in lieu of the fact that the Hart SUV didn't even land in the ocean, but fell on and settled on rocks at the bottom of the cliff. According to former U.S. Army infantryman Commander Gregory Bartz, acting assistant chief for the CHP's Northern Division, the Hart's vehicle software indicated that the SUV stopped at a scenic pullover area, then roared at speeds of up to 90 miles an hour before plunging more than 100 feet into the Pacific Ocean. April 2nd, 2018, speaking at an evening news conference, Bartz said the electronic information combined with the lack of skid marks or signs the driver braked led authorities to believe the crash was purposeful. Data from the vehicle software airbag module suggests the car had stopped at the scenic highway outcrop overlooking the cliff and then accelerated off the road, Bart said, at 90 miles per hour. The Westport Volunteer Fire Department said a four-member crew that first responded to the March 26, 2018 crash site originally found Jennifer and Sarah Hart inside the SUV, and only two of the Hart children bodies on the rocks. Mendocino County Sheriff Tom Almond said that both Jennifer and her spouse, Sarah Hart, were found wearing seat belts. As late as April 6, 2018, the CHP Major Crash Investigation Team determined neither Sarah or Jennifer had on seat belts. No one in the vehicle, a GMC Yukon, was wearing a seat belt, Captain Bruce Carpenter said. Around April 8, 2018, information released. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office incorrectly stated that Jennifer Hart and Sarah Hart were wearing a seat belt during the incident, the Sheriff's Department said in a news release. Well, which one will you believe? Scottish Rite Master Mason, Knight Templar, County Sheriff Tom Almond, or Masonic Rotary International disciple, former U.S. Army military police officer, CHP Captain Bruce Carpenter? say a lot of things about the Black Panther Party for self-defense. While I was in the Panthers, an eternal part of the BPP was the ancient African elder system. We not only had the love and consent from most of our elders, but we had their prayers and blessings to stand as the vanguard of the people. Even my mother, that still carried the smell of burning human flesh implanted in her subconscious from a lynching she experienced as a child in the Deep South, didn't cry or try to stop me from being a Panther. I saw the great fear in her heart and eyes when she saw it for herself that I was really a Panther. It was a long time coming, but before she died, she told me, "I don't worry about you no more." When I graduated from junior college, I had the intention to attend Malcolm X University in Chicago and pursue higher degrees in Egyptology at the University of Chicago. But a well-known, respected Oakland black educator and elder approached me at graduation. He said that I need you to watch the children. Children. I sincerely thought that the schools were some of the safest places for children. But I didn't question him. My elder had spoken. I said, "What do you want me to do?" About 3 years later, I was inside the Oakland Unified School District arguing with my elder, Dr. Marcus A. Foster, superintendent of the Oakland Public Schools. Word came down from out of Washington, D.C., Nixon in the Berlin Wall, directing him to separate me from the school district by any means necessary. They were threatening to withdraw millions in federal funding and aid from the schools if I remained in the system. I clearly understood that, but I wanted to know what was going on. Don't get it twisted. I wasn't the big black brute. It only takes a tiny pinhead to burst a balloon. They feared that I was a tiny pinhead in a system that would burst everything out in the open. It was my final day inside the system, the belly of the beast. From this day on, I wouldn't get another opportunity to face off with Dr. Foster. I leaned on him. I pressed him hard for a couple of hours to almost tears. But what he possessed to be a part of was an ultra-secret, multifaceted program in the schools protected by Dr. Foster's clandestine connection with CIA, MK Ultra, U.S. military intelligence, Holmesburg prison human experiments. The Philadelphia International Airport, just before Dr. Foster's flight to Oakland, his worshipful Masonic master and Knight of the Pythias, Leon S. Rosenthal, executed Dr. Foster's last will and testament and secretly initiated him into the high Masonic degrees with a blood oath covenant of secrecy as yet another layer of security and secrecy. Finally, Dr. Foster murmured under his breath to me that he had no power. It was a key word in capital letters. He had no power to protect the children of Oakland. I call it Operation Power, that was designed to clandestinely counter Oakland's significant and powerful Black Power movement. Operation Power was a wide-ranging, ultra-secret, multifaceted program of power and dominance over the goals, aspiration, and future of black people that could only be a dream plan of California resident SS Knight of the Black Sun, Baron Otto von Boschwing, Richard Nixon, and the Berlin Wall. The ultimate goal of the program was genocide. Public schools had been at the center of Dr. Louis Jovan West's Center for the Study and Reduction of Violence. The plan included concentration camps, experimental brain surgery, lobotomies, castrations, and brain implant tracking systems for black and children of color. One of the safest places at the time that I could imagine, the schools. The children attending Oakland schools were indeed in imminent, clear, and present danger. At that time, the vanguard and the people were organized and came out of the walls when called to protect children. So much so that the CIA, MK Ultra, and Occult Bureau had to pack up in a hurry and get out of town. They also took all the school district's money, leaving it flat broke. November 6, 1973, election night. After an evening school board meeting, Dr. Foster and Deputy Superintendent Roger Blackburn walked toward Blackburn's car in a dark, isolated parking area outside school headquarters. Suddenly, Dr. Foster was cut down in a hail of bullets by crossfire. Then two assassins rushed around Dr. Blackburn and blew out Dr. Foster's brains when he fell to the ground. Dr. Foster also had his heart cut from his body by bullets. Don't get it twisted. I loved my elder. My last words to Dr. Foster were, "Tell me what's going on. Keep me within the system, and the brothers and sisters will surround and defend you." And that's when he told me, "I've got no power." In the critical moments just after the shootings, Dr. Blackburn gave police the first false trail in the case. It gave the assassins a clear and open window to leave town. He told police, "We, brothers in black berets and leather jackets, gunned down Dr. Foster and shot him. I was across the state in Los Angeles under surveillance." Dr. Foster's assassins, I believe, were professional regulators of the French Secret Army Organization and P2 Propaganda Masonic Lodge of the Grand Orient of Italy. The Grand Orient of Italy was founded in 1805 during the French Napoleonic Kingdom of Italy. It was once a significant player within international Freemasonry, and in 1972 it was recognized as regular by the United Grand Lodge of England. The recognition was withdrawn in 1993 due to accusations that it was a major criminal enterprise and corrupted by mafia involvement. There was one unusual character of noticeable and unusual short stature among Dr. Foster's two assassins that rushed past Dr. Blackburn to blow out his brains that everybody seemed to agree to. There is an assumption that the short figure had been half-blind Camilla Gabby Hall of the Symbionese Liberation Army. However, there is absolutely no proof or evidence that she had been one of the assassins. Italian Stefano Del Shay seriously fit the profile of a notoriously known assassin of noticeable and unusual short stature at no more than 5 feet tall. Del Shay and his accomplices have been responsible for the murders of political dissidents, the setting up of death squads both in Europe and in Latin America. Del Shay's expertise and specialty was global fascist state terrorism, strategy of tension operations, the deliberate use of ultra-secret neo-Nazi, right-wing, extreme, deadly, violent terrorism blamed on dissident, liberal, and black national groups to scare the population of a given country into a rightward shift politically towards a law and order, scare them, herd them style of government. Del Shay is also alleged to have been an ultra-secret regulator for the P2 Masonic Lodge and Freemasonry. Finally, just before he was murdered, Dr. Foster began to talk in riddles about illusions of black power, hinting about what really was going on behind the veil with him in the schools, but while still behind the mask of the Luciferian Masonic Brotherhood. What if that aircraft came not just to visit the earth, but to conquer it, to start growing some kind of horrible army, to turn the human race into food for it like a field of cabbages? The thing from another world. The big problem with the thing from another planet is that at the time its creator and writer, futurist John W. Campbell, made the movie, his specialty wasn't aliens. His specialty for U.S. naval intelligence was the Nazis and the occult. To the Nazis, black children, little Hannah Louise Holiday Shuririch, her siblings, and beloved ones, Devante, Jeremiah, and Sierra, were no more or less to them than life not worthy of living. CIA, MK Ultra, children have no names, parents, ancestors, or loved ones, like inanimate objects, like a crate of cabbages. The end of the thing from another world, John W. Campbell left us a chilling message that he and maybe only a handful of people at that time knew its true meaning. Operation Paperclip was U.S. government national security ultra top secret. Campbell's message was, I bring you a warning. Every one of you listening to my voice, tell the world. Tell this to everybody, wherever they are. Watch the skies, everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the skies. Keep looking. Keep watching. He wasn't really talking about the skies.